Perspective. My name is Meka, and this is Cam.
What's up, everybody?
All right, how you doing today?
I'm good. I just had a little shy moment for a second.
Just a little second?
Yeah.
That's okay. It'll go away, trust me. So yeah, today's topic is a big one. We're gonna go ahead and bypass the whole intro thing, just because today's topic is they're hot topics on their own. So we're just gonna jump past that real quick. So today we will be talking about polyamory and BDSM. And just for the viewers, whenever we say poly, we are referring to polyamory, not polygamy, not polygyny, even though those are under that. But we'll get into
Polynesian.
that. Not Polynesian. We'll get into that. So yeah, first off, let's introduce you. Where are you from? Your pronouns, age.
Hello, my name is Camey, California. I go by Cam for the most part of my life. I'm an artist. My pronouns are they, them, he. Although in the world I acknowledge she, definitely respect the divine feminine, all that. So never rejecting femininity, but definitely secure in my masculinity and all that. So
Alright, that's dope. That's dope.
I don't know if I said if I'm from California or not, but I am, and been in the A now for 3 years this time.
That's good.
Love it.
You do.
Yes.
Alright. Well, that's good to hear. Not too many people actually love it here. Alright. So yeah, we're just gonna jump right into it. So yeah, how were you introduced to polyamory or poly?
Well, the actual word polyamory, I bumped into reading, being online, and being from California, it's kind of one of the things that we've been ahead of the game, I guess, on a lot of things. So it was a lot like more white centric and Eurocentric, but I didn't know about it. But myself, I felt non-monogamous for my whole life, and definitely identified and kind of rejected monogamy from an early age with dating and seeing like jealousy and stuff like that. Didn't seem like something I wanted to really take part in. But yeah, for the record, I am polyamorous, but polyamory itself to me has taken on kind of like a couple-centric definition, and there's like all these rules and standards that make something poly or not. So for all intents and purposes, I consider myself non-monogamous, ethically non-monogamous, which I subscribe to. And polyamory is a form of, or something under that umbrella, I should say, a form of.
Yeah, so non-monogamy is the umbrella term. Polyamory, polygamy, polygyny, all that, polyandry, all that stuff falls under that umbrella.
Right.
For those that may not know. But yeah, I feel that with the whole non-monogamous part of things, because polyamory is starting to be too defined. Like even when like a lot of groups and things on Facebook and Instagram, all that stuff, it doesn't seem like people understand that it can be more than one dynamic. It's more than just a couple finding their third,
right,
or something like that.
Yeah.
I honestly hate that. I can't.
That's one of my biggest problems with it too. How like couple centric it is, and how it's based on. People think it's just about opening up a relationship. Yeah, monogamous relationship. They don't really account for single people's like solo poly.
Right.
Another title I do give myself is relationship anarchist, which is essentially solo poly with a lot more flexibility on how I can connect to different people and how each relationship is defined. It's not me rejecting or being anarchist against relationships. A lot of people think it's like that, but yeah, poly is becoming. I think it is about Facebook and these groups. It's like it's becoming something that other people can define, when literally the definition of it says is polyamory is the desire and consent, or the capacity to relate to multiple people with the consent and knowledge of everybody involved. Right. So that's where it kind of draw the line for me, or I kind of walk this fine line, because the consent part, to me, your consent consent doesn't change who I am.
Exactly.
So you dating me is kind of like unspoken consent. I don't need permission every time I want to date or have sexual contact or connect in a way. I'm just living my life. So for poly, it seems like it has become like, oh, if I say you can date this person, or if I'm cool with that, and they fall back on that consent thing as kind of permission to be controlling. I'm not with that.
No, not at all. That kind of puts me in the mind of like OPP, one penis policies and one pussy policies. I ain't with that, because it's. I mean, if it's for you, it's for you, but for me, it's not for me.
Right.
And it's funny you brought up the definition of polyamory. I actually just looked up the definition just to have it ready for the viewers.
Right.
And I kind of didn't like what I found. It said the practice of engaging in multiple sexual relationships with the consent of all people involved.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of limited too, because it says sexual relationships when really it's like the ability to go beyond the sexual. Because really swinging is it's an open relationship. Yeah, but polyamory is supposed to be able to do more than.
Right.
Like,
I mean, if you break down the word polyamory, it's like poly meaning multiple, amory meaning love. So where does the sex come in?
right.
That's my whole issue with
on
that.
that same token though, but yeah, like I don't like that it didn't include the romantic end of it, but I hate that people do look at the ones that are purely sexual like, oh, that's not poly, when really it is. It's poly, relating in a way in any type of relationship, even if it is this purely sexual one. Like you could be in a titled relationship that still was formed on sex, and we don't judge you as much as we judge like the person who's just out here doing that.
But that just didn't sit well with me for some reason.
Yeah, you're right.
So how do you feel about the whole lifestyle versus love style? Some people prefer to call it a lifestyle, others prefer to call it a love style. So which would you?
I do prefer the word love style because for two reasons. One, I do actively take part in certain lifestyles, but being non-monogamous isn't one of them. Like for some people it might be, and so I respect that perspective, but to me a lifestyle is something that you can pull away from or grow out of, and it might be a phase in your life, it might be just something that you found community in and you're actively living that life. So polyamory can be a part of your lifestyle, meaning your overall way of living. But I don't like to think of the community and the lifestyle as a lifestyle because, like we said, it's how we define things. So we look at lifestyles like swinging, kink. Some people have defined LGBT as a lifestyle, and I've had to, advocate for that too. That's one of those like polyamory and non-monogamy that I can walk away from everything in my life. Who I am and how I relate will never change.
Right.
So I'm always be queer, no matter what title I feel I attach to at that time. It's never heterosexual. So and I'm gonna always be, able to have multiple loves or able to connect, even if only mentally, emotionally. Even if I'm old and I'm laying here like this in my deathbed, I'ma still think that nurse is hot, and my wife might be right there. So it never will change in my mind. That doesn't change for monogamy either. That was just a loose example.
Yeah, no, I feel you. No, I got you. So how long have you been polyamorous?
I've been ethically non-monogamous.
There you go,
Yeah. So, let's say I've been non-monogamous my whole life. I've been ethically non-monogamous about 8 to 10 years.
There's a difference.
And I've been polyamorous, meaning involved in the community online and engaging in polyamory communities for about 3 years. Atlanta is like the universe, the central of the universe for a lot of different lifestyles, love styles, and polyamory is definitely one of them. So I didn't move here because of that, but I have found myself having more encounters and finding more loves, platonic friends. There's more people, or you're likely to bump into more people that are not monogamous.
Surprised. You would be surprised.
So 3 years for polyamory, 8 years for ethical non-monogamy, where I decided I'm not going to be a cheater anymore, and lifetime for just monogamy in whatever, non-monogamy in whatever form, even if it was cheating, because I put myself in a monogamous box at the time.
Right.
Because I didn't know myself enough to like demand my freedom, you know, demand that. Even though I would tell people like I don't believe in, I'm like trying to warn them in the best way I can. Like I don't believe in relationships that are monogamous. And I'm really gonna be responsible for all your orgasms, and you're probably gonna not, you know, like I'm gonna cheat on you. Like I'm telling
like
you,
trying to tell you, but not really.
I'm
like
gonna
straight
cheat. Yeah. So, but then I would blame them for putting me in a box. When really I walked into that cage on my own. So I stopped doing that. Yeah, about 8 years ago, I just decided like I wouldn't care. I'm losing myself. I'm not gonna like really feel bad about it. And I kind of had like a 10-year relationship end because of me needing to live my truth, and so it's something I will never like go backwards from again.
Right, I can feel that.
How about you though?
I know you
asking me questions.
Yeah, I forget. Yeah, I am also polyamorous, and I would say I've been polyamorous for about 3 years or so, maybe. I still consider myself a baby, I'm still a newbie, just because I've only really had one polyamorous relationship. Since then, I've had like friends with benefits, things like that, open situations, but not necessarily polyamorous. Or, well, I guess it will still be considered non-monogamous, but not polyamorous. So, yeah, I would say about a year really in a relationship, and then about 2 years just me just researching and everything.
Nice.
I came across it in college actually. I had a class, human sexuality, and we had to do a group project, and my group just happened to get polyamory.
That was like
and
destiny.
yeah, and that was the thing. I had already came across it right before that, so I'm like, yeah, I'm in that group. So got in the group, did more research. That's when I learned about conversion and just the non-monogamous and all the little rules and regulations, different dynamics and all that stuff. So yeah, that's really kind of how I got this start. And then I want to say maybe like 3-6 months after that, when I found my ex, and she was already polyamorous, her and her husband. So yeah, kind of from there, and yeah, I've been polyamorous ever since. And I kind of think that I was actually polyamorous beforehand, just because even in my monogamous relationships, I never had like that overprotective type of possessive ass thing going on. Yeah, and it kind of caused problems in my monogamous relationships, because they're like, oh, you don't care about me, you don't care, such and such, this and that and third. I was like, I really don't. Sorry, I'm not supposed to.
Yeah, a lot of us are non-monogamous before we even have the words to describe like polyamory or anything. Like
I had no idea. This is like a couple years ago. I'm in college, like
But how crazy is it that you didn't have the toxic trait, and that kind of dissolved your relationship? So that's why I had a lot of like confusion about monogamy, because it was like all the things that were, I don't want to say all the things, but it's a lot of things that were considered monogamous were about possessive, toxic behaviors, about like how much you're jealous over the person, or how much you don't want that person talking to nobody else, or how much like not looking at people and not being attracted to somebody is fake so hard. Like, all these things. So yeah, at an early age I was like, you want me to be
way back in high school, I'm like, why you want me to fight this person because they looking at you? You cute. What you mean?
Yeah, like I didn't want to talk to you if nobody was looking
like,
at you.
I mean, that's an ego boost for me.
Yeah. Like, I wouldn't probably ever saw you if no one was looking at you.
I'm about to say, if it wasn't a whole group of motherfuckers over here checking you out, what makes you think I would have? So, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's something in the early years I just didn't have words for, but I made sense of. Right. All right, so within polyamory, I actually saw a question on Facebook somewhere.
Right, the world of Facebook.
Right, man, look. But no, it was in one of the little polyamory groups or something. No, it was in a regular lesbian group or whatever. But they were asking if like dating a friend's significant other, is it okay? Is it ever okay?
I don't cross that line physically, but mentally, I have usually toyed with the idea. I have had friends, I've had best friends who my ex dated after, or I might even have introduced, like,
right,
you know, y'all might be a better fit. But I myself, I haven't had any good experience with, like, I value the friendship more than the romantic connection. If it's something that I have to have because the universe just wants it and the connection is just so you know, I feel like if it's something that's supposed to be there, then the friend would be the one saying, here, my wife wants to, I'm not going to cross that line.
Okay.
Because I don't want you to mistrust me around your wife anymore or whatever.
And then they kind of mess up the friendship. So I feel that.
And even on the receiving end, if my lady or whoever, my partner at the time, decided to connect with my friend, I would have to work through the fact, like, when did y'all figure this out? Like, when I'm going to the bathroom or over games of Monopoly and y'all, when I go to the bathroom? Right, so I'm going to have, you know, insecurities and questions, and you hope to have relationships in which you don't have to deal with these types of issues. Right. But I mean, I have learned, especially over my interactions in the Atlanta community, that everybody isn't so forthcoming with the truth. So you kind of have to ask questions and be engaged, but I don't cross the line. I'm not gonna cross the line. If it was meant to happen, I know, because I've been a swinger for a while before, and I've had friends that I met in a swinger capacity, and we might build a friendship after, and it's like, oh, we did some things, so now the friendship is cool. But I haven't had a situation in which I've had people that keep their partners away from me and whatever. No one's ever even really, and I don't consider those real friends either, because my real friends know I'm not going to cross the line. Right. Like, your lady might try to cross the line, and I'm going to be like, look, hey baby, call this number right now. And I'm going to give her man's number or her partner's number. Because I don't know, I have ethics and morals, you know what I'm saying? And not that, appreciate that. In talking about like ethnicities and stuff, how I was raised around white people, and seeing the non-monogamy and ethical non-monogamy community in California, you see where they're like okay with it. They're like, hey Steve, come fuck my wife real quick. Wow. So, you know, and that's their level of, you know, if your relationship reaches to that, that's beautiful. That's evolved as hell. But for me, I do value my friendship. I'm a relationship anarchist, so my best friend is just as cool as my wife, is just as cool as my non-platonic love, as my girlfriend, as my side piece, as my sex buddy. All of y'all are equal to me. Right. Yeah. So I'm not gonna value exactly. Also, my son, like he gets cuddle time, he gets date nights, he gets So I do have a son. I had him biologically, naturally. It's my son. But no, I don't consider myself bisexual. I seen that was the episode on your or the discussion on one of your episodes. But
like
if I consider myself, no. Nah. I have lots to say on the topic, but you know that's like later, more discussion. But every relationship is equal to me. So my friend, I value the fact that he trusted me around you. I'm not gonna disrespect him or her, them. I'm not gonna cross that line. So how do you feel about it? Is that
it depends on the situation and how things go. I mean, that's one of those you play by ear type things. But like in a situation like you mentioned, like if I'm hanging out with a friend of mine and that girl try to get at me on the slick slide, no man, we're not gonna do that. But if the friend is cool with it, and if we got that kind of connection and we got that kind of bond, maybe I'll try it out. This and then third, but it's a no for me, dog. I don't think so. Like it's like one of those you just gotta play by ear type things. But I've never come across that situation. I just happen to see it. Right. So
we see a lot of things, and like I said, more power to your evolution, because you know there are people that look at me, they couldn't do what I do or live how I live. So I know there's levels to this.
Right. It's definitely levels. I have not reached that level.
Right.
Why do you think everyone's go-to when starting out is a closed triad?
I have this discussion a lot, actually. I feel like if you're coming from monogamy and you're opening your relationship, there's still a level of like desire to be in control somehow. You still want to know or be involved in all the interactions. You want to monitor the love making, and it's usually from a sense of, it's usually from a place of control or insecurity.
Yeah, insecurity, definitely.
But in all actuality, Triad is level 5 polyamory.
Man,
like
look,
Triad,
if you can master that shit, boy.
I don't even feel like it's something you can master. I've been in more triads than I've been in one-on-one relationships in my life, and it's not easier. There's a triad is actually 4 relationships, maybe 5. Let me see. You have the relationship with all 3 of you. Wait, we don't even start there. Most of the time we start with a couple one-on-one, right? So it's one relationship. Then you have the couple, and the third, or I hate that term also, but I use these terms because this is what's not widely known. Let's call it the additional, the late entering party.
The unicorn.
Nah.
No, that's what they call it.
I know, yeah, you're right, they call it, I know, it's unicorns, mermaids, all kind of.
Mermaids.
Yeah, it's a whole, it gets deep.
Mermaids?
So, okay, the last party enters the relationship. Yeah. Then you have the relationship. Say me and you are in a triad, right? There's our relationship. There's our relationship with this party. There's my relationship with this party. There's your relationship with this party. I could be deep and say there's that person's relationship with themselves, mine with myself, yours. We need a whiteboard, right?
Yeah, you gotta.
That's the whole
draw that guy out.
That's like level 102 polyamory.
Think about it. Yeah. It's just when we get into the dynamics of things, we need a whiteboard, chalkboard, something.
But a lot of people want that. In my opinion, in my experience with dealing with people that have come from monogamy, and I'm introducing them to the extra or late entering party, they want to be sure that, like, I'm not hitting it harder than I hit you. I'm not, talking sweet. Nothing's better.
But
that
that's
person,
kind of the point.
We're not plotting on murdering you and absconding with the insurance money. Like, whatever the reason, whatever the insecurity is, it usually comes out on that stage.
Right.
I feel like it should happen with people. You decide you want to open your relationship. You might have a couple threesomes or whatever, but when it comes to, like, dating, I feel like people need to go explore themselves and to see what they even like.
Right.
You need to be able to go have a relationship. You done probably had a side piece before. If not, okay, you're one of the saints on the earth. Right? So if you can have extramarital relations outside of your partner, that's the easiest way to go. You've already probably cheated on somebody before. You've already probably been cheated on before, which is the hard part, right?
You gotta get past that.
That's so now you have the honesty. They can tell you, hey, I'm stepping out. That's the way to grow, to do it. Jumping into a triad and maintaining your relationship, because when you're dating somebody new, you do have to affirm your new your older relationship. I still want you. I still want to be with you.
Right. Let them not know.
And you're now entertaining a new party together. It's just too much, in my opinion. And I see this a lot from people that consider themselves vets. But in my experience, and I wanted to say this earlier when you said that, I'm like, don't consider yourself a newbie, because really it's the desire. Like, I've seen people that have been in the non-monogamous polyamorous community, even they're leaders of groups and they're doing events, and they still struggle with monogamy because it's not what they wanted to do. One of the partners probably said it. The other partner is scared to lose the partner, so they end up going like this and exploring those things as a way to save their relationship, as a way to, so you're not losing the party, but that's not really what you're about. But meanwhile, you have this new person that comes in and they've only read about it in books, but they know their whole life they was monogamous. They come in and they absorb these concepts, and they take to it like fish and water, because this is who they are. It's not what they're doing.
Yeah, that's one thing I did get that when I was first starting. I was like, you really like you took this real easy. Like, you just kind of slid into this, man. It made sense to me. I mean, it simply just made sense. Like, folks out here cheating every fucking day. And folks really can understand the concept of cheating on this person. Oh, yeah, I like this person. I'm going to go out here and sleep with them. But it don't really mean, like, all of that. But you've been cheating on this person with this person for 3 years. So you got some kind of emotional attachment to that person. Right. Point blank period. Whatever you want to say. So, like, they can understand that part of it, but they can't understand, like, why not just be open with both parties and everybody just be cool with it. You can schedule around, you ain't got to lie about the shit, this and that and the third, but
that's what it was for me. I got tired of lying. Like,
that's the thing. Like, it's so
I have
easy.
A bad memory.
I'm gonna get caught up.
Yeah. And everybody thinks they're real, right? So that's the whole thing. Like, oh, I'm the realist, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to be the realist, and I realized, like, how are you real? You're doing everything you saying you're gonna do. You a stand-up person. You honor your word, and you make fair deals, and you go home and you lie to your girl or your partner every night. That you know, and not saying that ethical monogamy makes it easier to really be yourself, like, because I'm a relationship anarchist and I still bump into resistance because people just nobody wants you to really be out here messing with everybody in the streets.
Right.
Like, no matter how open-minded they are, sometimes they're gonna wish that you wasn't so wild and free.
Unless you're me, and I don't really give a fuck. That was always been my thing. Like, I never gave a fuck. Like, as long as I'm getting my time and what I need out of the relationship, out of the situation, and it's not like I demand much because I'm fucking introvert, so I don't really need much out of somebody. So as long as I'm getting what I need, give me my little 1 or 2 days or something like that here and there, I'm cool. But folks want you to be all mad. Why you don't call me every day, this and the third? Because I got shit to do. Yeah. Type shit. But I mean, I'm still gonna check in. I'm still gonna say, hey, this and that and the third. It doesn't mean that our relationship is valued any less. It's just I need my me time type shit.
Right. And I agree with that. And I definitely keep myself. I don't believe in primary, secondary relationships, but if I had to have a primary relationship, it's myself.
Right.
I need my days where I have solo time for reflection, for self-care, for whatever. Especially when you start entertaining and growing and building with multiple parties, like, it's important. Just because there's 7 days of the week does not mean that you should have 7 loves. Like, if you can handle that, sure, but somebody's missing out, you know.
Exactly.
And it's probably yourself. Yeah.
Most likely is you.
So I do have to, like, you know, I don't do everything just because I have the freedom to do it. A lot of people have that misconception. Right. It's like, there are still guidelines and boundaries, and I don't really subscribe to rules because I don't feel like an adult should tell another adult what to do. I'm gonna trust you to make your own decisions. I have boundaries of what I expect, unless we're talking about like kink and stuff like that. And that kind of
this is a perfect segue. We go ahead and just bust that up.
Yes,
and we're gonna take it there. So with the rules, and because that was one of my questions. I didn't mean to cut you off now.
No,
think about it. But like, it's a perfect segue into the whole BDSM part of this conversation today. So how does that work? Like, you just say you're not one for giving out rules and everything, but then, you know, in the whole BDSM world, it's like one of the
it conflicts because I'm a dominant and I do have a submissive, and we're in a polyamorous relationship, and that is, I wouldn't say centered around kink, but it's centered around kink. Like, so on one hand, on the polyamory tip, like, as a lover, as a partner, I'm chill, I'm cool, do whatever, go bust your nut if you feel like that. Right. Go find your soulmate, go find whatever you feel, live your best life. With all the BDSM tip, I'm possessive, I'm territorial, no one's playing with my toy without my permission, especially.
Type shit. And
yeah, so those, especially in a relationship that intersects both of these things, it does get blurry sometimes, but with polyamory, you have to communicate. It's constant talking, constant communication. With kink, it's constant communication, constant talking, drawing the line, figuring out what works for us as a couple, involving other people and what we expect. Like, I don't want you to date on the polyamory end, date whoever you like.
Right.
On the BDSM tip, you can only have one dominant. Like,
okay,
so
I was just about to say. So how does that work out?
For our dynamic and my BDSM situation, the partner I have the kink with, we do have to draw the line between those because my BDSM is hella OPP-ish.
Okay.
But my love, I actually have a group, and you might know that on Facebook, called Free Love Social Club, and I'm all about free love, open, ethical monogamy and stuff like that. So it does require knowing yourself, and I really feel like BDSM and kink allows me to get my misogyny off, allows me to get my toxic behavior out, allows me to get my abusive sadistic way out with the victim. Yeah, with somebody who chooses that. Yeah, consent. I love that word. And both of those love styles and lifestyle each are centered around consent. And so it's real important for me to have somebody who understands, like, this is what we're going to partake in together, and this is what we're going to partake in. But it does take a lot of talking, building, and setting up. Yes, and being able to evolve, and those needs might change.
Right. That's the one thing about both of these communities. Well, I don't want to say. Well, yeah, both of these communities, the polyamorous and the BDSM, is very heavy in communication. Like, you have to communicate. You can't just say, "Oh, I'm polyamorous and I date this person, and then these people not know and all that." You gotta communicate with folks, and that's the one thing that I feel that monogamy is lacking, is that communication. If you in a monogamous relationship, you can't tell your wife or your husband, like, "Hey, I think I like this person at work," and that's where these work husbands and her work wives and shit come in, and then all of that shit. And
but also, like, with monogamy, a lot of times, like, when is there, sometimes you might say, "Will you be my partner, or you be my girlfriend," or whatever, but when is there a sit down, like, this is what I expect from this relationship? There's really never, you kind of just start,
it's like a societal type thing.
It'd be like Netflix and chill, you might like it, it happens to get recurring, you start y'all fucking now. And so, like, after a month of fucking and eating, after work and stuff, it's like, we do this. How do you feel about
together?
So there's usually never a conversation about who you might have been entertaining before I met you.
Are you still
would you still like to?
Right.
Because I have such, it's all like, "Oh, just drop your hoes, I'm gonna drop my hoes." And there's never even that conversation. It's just an expectation.
Yeah.
No one ever says, "Are you dropping your hoes from today?"
It's like,
will
just
you
know
with me?
what you
and then
want.
you just expect that person to assume that it means dropping the
just
hoes.
with me.
But what if I was building with this person and I just happened to connect with you? They're not structuring a relationship. That's what I feel like a lot of monogamy goes wrong. Because no one's discussing. There's no contract.
Yeah.
Like,
speaking of contracts.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, you gonna set yourself.
They're so intertwining. Yeah, like weird.
Yeah. I like how that works out though. It keeps bouncing back and forth, and I like that. It kind of pinballs.
So about contracts, do I like to have one?
Yeah, like, how does that work? Like, even if you don't have one, what you know about it?
I have one. Well,
venturing.
People, everything works out for everybody in a different way, but usually in the BDSM community, there's contracts which, like, in black and white, lay out the rules,
like
the guidelines, a legit contract with signatures and all that. Because
you have to get it notarized.
A lot of time there's you have to get it notarized.
You have to get it notarized.
You might want to, especially if you're in the deeper end of things, where you're talking about total TPE, which is total power exchange, where somebody's giving their life to you. If you're into like some deeper
like
things,
slave,
yeah, so if somebody wants to dedicate their life to you, and where there's situations where they could die in a pain situation or something that could make it gets deep.
I know it gets deep.
So I know about a lot more than what I'm into, but so for my personal experience, my contract, for example, is just rules and expectations from each party. Duties and obligations from each party. I have
so basically the open communication is on paper.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that way later, if you get punished, like remember Section B, line 36 specifically states.
Speaking of punishments, I love how.
Yeah, and on the same tip, she can hit me like you said on line 57, you know. So it's just there's no, and a lot of people really I've seen done in relationships where there's just like a letter of intent even, you know, like it's my intention to dedicate 3 to 5 nights of my week with you in which we exchange blah 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 blah, like whatever.
Okay. It's not really like a contract, but just like...
No, there are really contracts.
Oh, there are?
But it's levels of it, like I said.
Oh, okay. I see.
So if you feel like you and your partner need to print that out, there are specific... I'm not a pro-dom. It's my lifestyle. I'm a dominant person by nature. So this is something that I incorporated into my life, and like I happened to bump into a submissive who was like trained and experienced and also on the lifestyle tip, and we happen to be compatible, so we don't necessarily have ours printed out and signed and dotted, because we're not into a lot of things that most people might be into. Our relationship is daddy dom and little girl. She's a middle, actually, like middle age.
Yeah, like explain. Yeah.
Well, okay, so a little is in reference to age play. A little is someone who is a child in their kink.
Mind state type.
Right, they identify with. Right, yeah. They identify. Usually, it might be a separate space that they go into, or it could be their personality in general. It really just depends on the person.
Okay.
And so a middle is, you know, a little older, usually a teen.
Oh, okay.
My middle just happened to turn 17, so she's exploring like makeup. Like short shorts that she shouldn't be wearing and stuff like that, curfews and stuff like that, where she wants to test the boundaries. She's exploring with her sexuality and stuff like that. I, as a personal preference, don't like to role play, age play with young girls because it does turn sexual. Oh yeah. With the little is age playing 5, 6, 7. That's not. I could engage with you and be a caretaker in that situation, but it's not sexual to me, and I don't. A lot of times people use it as sexual healing for trauma that they've been through in real life, and that's perfectly valid. Yeah. But for my sexual taste and preferences, I'm not comfortable with that. So
not your kink.
My middle, who just turned 17, it's not sexual play. It's more like rules and boundaries and watch how you're talking to daddy and bedtimes and stuff like that.
Right. Okay.
So
when y'all in that space, it's not really.
It can turn sexual for her. Usually, not the age play. When we get into impact play, which is more my thing, rope bondage and stuff like that.
Yeah, explain for people.
So our exchange, we do the daddy dom and the little girl play as a role play, but as it's not all about the submissive receiving services from the dominant. It's about compatibility on both ends. Okay. So she happens to be a rope bunny also. So that's somebody who enjoys getting bound and rope play and things like that. I happen to be a rope top. That's my number one thing. I'm aspiring rope artist, but for now I just be tying some bitches
and
up.
I be like, yeah, that shit's impressive. Like, I'm
Thank
way
you.
out of
I
practice.
appreciate that.
I played around with it, but
I was actually showing Kelly she was looking at some of my art, and I was showing her a picture, and she saw something that I did. It was realistic. I'm like, it's not done yet, but it was actually a picture of a tie that I did on my submissive, and I took the picture and then I made the art out of it. So for me, it ties into everything that I do.
That is dope.
I took the reference picture. I did the tape, the artwork, and all that. So it's about both parties being able to explore the things that they're interested in with a consenting partner, and you do have to like focus on compatibility and stuff like that, because some people might not be into spanking. My partner is heavily into receiving spankings, and it's okay for me, but it's not something that I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I get into it because I get into my dom space and I enjoy it, but for me, I'm like, usually the spanking comes after I tie her up, so it's already like where I want to be mentally. So.
Right. Okay. So you already so you help out. So what about punishments? Like, so what did you do since? I mean, you can't really spank somebody that like being spanked. Right. So what would the punishment be?
So yeah, this is when it's about knowing your partner. There are such things as punishments, where it's like a fake punishment, and that would be like spanking someone who likes spankings. Like she does something that's just trouble enough to get herself a spanking because she wants it. So actual punishments. So my partner, for example, she might like spanking, but she doesn't want her feet spanked. So the punishment might be, you're actually gonna get spanked somewhere that you don't enjoy.
Okay.
You're gonna do something that is a real punishment. So a lot of times it might be for littles and middles. And people that have craved that attention of the dom might be ignoring you. I'm not going to respond to your text for the day.
So it's not really like physical.
Yeah, so it could be psychological.
Okay.
And if you don't sign up for the things that you're enduring, it could be considered abuse.
Right.
But a lot of times it's things that somebody enjoys. The messed up thing about BDSM is a lot of times we find out the hard way about things that we like, or we find to like them because it was exposed to us in a fucked up manner.
Right.
But we found a way to make that
pleasure in it.
Right. Or it just has become something that we enjoy, that when we want to, but not when we choose not to. Like consent is a major thing. So punishment is definitely something you definitely have to talk when you're setting up your dynamics and stuff like this, and figure out what you actually agree on, because if it's
and what can be tolerated.
There's levels to it. There's tolerance level, pain level, emotional pain level. Some people don't want to be degraded publicly. Some people crave that. Public humiliation and things like that are real. Some people enjoy being humiliated by their partners in front of the public, and that's what they enjoy. So you have to find the people that you work with that link up.
That's compatible.
Right.
So I know that in the BDSM world that collars and branding, things like that are a big deal. Is that something that you've partaken in, or is that like a thing? I know it's like a whole
it gets
process.
Deep. There's ceremonies sometimes.
Yeah, like it's a whole process.
I have collared myself. I actually made her collar. It's like a copper weaved choker.
Okay.
I make jewelry too. I'm an artist. I did a bunch of different mediums, interdisciplinary. But that for me, making her collar was a part of the ceremony in itself, and that I put my energy into it, and it's based on our relationship. We have like a dark goth, like vampire lord and dark princess type of vibe. So it's a snake, and there's different types of collars. There's different levels of collars. For submissives, it could be if your submissive is under consideration, if it's a slave, if it's a sub. There's all types of different levels of collars and ways of possession.
You can't take off, like the metal.
With locks on it that the dom wears, the D-type wears. There are some masters. The branding, I've only seen deep into slave and ownership, total power exchange. That's almost like tattoo. But if you think about it, monogamous people get tattooed
of each other's name and all that shit.
So it's similar. It's very similar. It's very possessive in nature.
So I think
collars are definitely a thing though.
I don't know. Like I've been researching. Like I said, I've been researching and learning about a whole lot of different things. And if I was to call it, because I would like to aspire to be a dom at some point in time. But if I was to call it, it would be like a ring or a bracelet or anklet or something like that. I think I'd go for the
something
anklet.
Subtle, yeah.
All right. So how exactly do rewards work in your dynamic?
Rewards. It really could vary. It could be punishment with something that she enjoys. So for my particular sub, she likes spanking, so that would be additional spanking. Little things for her, little dress up play, like little socks, knee-high socks, and cute bows and stuff, makeup that age appropriate, play appropriate stuff. It could mean like extra sexual play. It could be vanilla, which is like not BDSM. Roses, gifts, a date night. It could go into all those things. So it's really up to the person and what they like individually, what the reward would be, and how great of the deed was that she's being rewarded for.
Oh, okay. So what would warrant punishment or reward? And
a punishment might be like breaking a rule, having several reminders. In my specific dynamic, we do weekly reviews. So every Sunday or Wednesday or whatever night that the review falls on, we're gonna discuss how many times you had to be reminded about a rule that's already. I mean, when it's what you do, then it's just what you do.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So the thing about dominant, the D in BDSM actually stands for discipline. So the dominant, the D type, the master, there has to be some kind of self-discipline in order to even be able to lead somebody in that way. I can't tell you what you shouldn't be doing if I don't have self under control as well.
Gotcha.
So it does take a lot of self-discipline, all that, being on top of things. And I'm not perfect. I do slip. We do. The stress of vanilla life can sometimes put BDSM to the end where we're not having. We might skip a couple summary sessions, or we might skip a couple whatever. But it's our lifestyle. So there's never going to be a time when yelling at me is okay. There's never going to be a time when breaking daddy's rules is okay. So it doesn't matter what's going on. It doesn't matter what, like the meme. It don't matter how hard life gets. I'm never letting a son disrespect me or whatever. You know, so, whatever it is.
So like you may not address it right then and there, but it's gonna get addressed.
Well, I usually address it right then, but there's no consequence at the moment. So you're gonna think about if you're gonna hear about this later.
Right.
I'm gonna
that right
check
there
it.
Is punishment.
I'm gonna check it. I mean, and chastisement is a form of punishment. Some people are timid enough, or that's their personality, where you can just like, why'd you do that? And then you're like, oh my god, they're punishing enough.
Your mom used
but
to give you that look.
Yeah, you just know. So I can do that sometimes, but also there's some times where like my sub is being a brat, and she's intentionally trying to see like how much she can get away with because maybe I'm not giving her attention that she needs. So you kind of gotta know. It's a lot of mind games and a lot of mind sex going on. Like you have to know. Am I engaging in that or no? Is the response to discipline you, or is the response to ignore you because you want that reaction out of me?
So you really gotta play the game.
So rewards, something that might warrant that. I come home from work and the house is clean. If you had an off day and you're at the house and I come home and it's messy, that's gonna be like a punishment thing. But I come home, you have my blunt rolled, you went out of your way to make sure like my favorite chocolate was here or something extra to let me know that you appreciate all the little things that daddy does for you, then I'm going to reward that later, or maybe even instantaneously. Like
that makes I feel it. I'm about to say I'm learning.
Yeah, it's all learning. I've been engaged in BDSM for a good part of 15, 16 years, and you always learn, like, you always learning something different, especially with different partners and that's in life in general. Like, you learning about yourself every day, so you kind of get, and being non-monogamous and being in the kink, I've had a lot of relationships, I've had a lot of mistakes and like learning lessons and stuff like that, so you definitely kind of eventually put it all together if you're doing the work to grow, because some people get stuck. It's not how long you're doing it, it's how you're doing it. So
I feel that. I definitely feel that. Well, I appreciate you coming through.
Thank you.
And definitely good talk. Hell yeah, any day. But yeah, so what can we expect from you next?
Right now I'm going through a lot of soul searching. I have I'm doing art and stuff like that, but I'm interdisciplinary. My first love is music, so I'm gonna get back into music. I have been doing events because I like making safe spaces for polyamorous queer women, ladies to come out and enjoy themselves, have a good time. But also, it gets a little draining doing events and stuff like that. When really my first love is music, so I'm kind of going through a little back and forth with myself. Last year, me and some partners, like we birthed Georgia's first cannabis conscious music festival on 420. It's called Coachella Forever. Still shouts out to them. This year was a little stressful for me. I walked away from the situation, even though it was like my brainchild. I loved it, and I wanted to bring the culture of Cali cannabis out here, right, and kind of make a thing. But I realized like Georgia's still very few, like a lot of steps away from legalizing, even expansion on medical law that we have. Right. So it gets a little frustrating feeling like you're just grinding for no reason. Yeah. So getting signatures and doing petitions and stuff like that, it kind of gets a little draining. So right now I'm just like gathering my resources and making a decision on what my next move is going to be as far as on the public scene. But in the back end of things, I'm about to do coding school so I can incorporate my art into some like tech and some
graphic design.
Yes. Well, I mean, I already do the graphic design like as a hobby type of thing. Yeah, I'm like, that's the thing. I have to like narrow it down. I've been to everywhere, so I've had to narrow it down to things I really love. So like I make money on my paint and sips and my visual art and my tattoos and stuff. So I take that money. Oh, I do personal paint and sips, private paint and sips for loved ones, for monogamous and non-monogamous couples, like romantic evening type of thing with some wine and some paint instruction.
So just like personal, like date night type thing. Okay.
Yeah, and because a lot of times, a lot of spaces are not really friendly to queer, not really friendly to poly, and then if you're both of those things, queer, poly, and Atlanta, I'm just helping. I want to be part of the solution of making us more normalized in a monogamous society, and that's cool. People that do monogamy how it's supposed to be done, right? But we do need representation for the non-monogamous people, and a lot of times it's like a date night is usually 2 people and stuff like that. So I do try to offer services and different things for. I'm doing a paint and sip on the 16th for 2. Well, one is my platonic love, her wife, and then they have a group of people. I gifted one of them a coupon, and it was like for 2 or 3. Right. And they're like, "Hey, we got a party at 5." I'm like, "Turn up, yeah."
That's cool.
Friends, family, loved ones.
Dope.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I fuck with it. So you'll be hearing from me.
Yeah, do that.
For several different reasons. Okay, cool. So Instagram, Facebook, anything you want to
Instagram, Camey Official, CAMAY Official. Facebook's Camey More, Camey California for the art and stuff like that. And I'm on Twitter for like tech, but it's really just a networking thing. I don't really mess with Twitter anymore, but I'm searchable. If you're looking for Camey, especially in Atlanta or California, you're gonna find me.
Right. Okay. Dope. Well, y'all know where to find me. Instagram, Dreadhead Stepchild. Facebook, Meka Wells, but y'all don't need all that. Check me out, Psych Essentials, Instagram and Facebook, Psych Essentials 0818. Definitely check those out for all your Bath and Body Works needs. Body scrubs and whip shea butters coming soon, so definitely check that out. We got the incense bath bombs, wax melts, candles, all that good stuff. So definitely check us out. I got some great things coming up for the summer, and we out this guy. Y'all have a good one, and check us out. Oh, Stud Table Talk.
Thank you, Stud Table Talk, for setting a platform to discuss things like polyamory, BDSM, masculinity, femininity, all that. Definitely much love and respect. Hope to be back and talking all this good stuff. Y'all are chill. I'm like, y'all gonna have to kick me out.
You ain't going nowhere. Don't worry about it. But yeah, check out Stud Table Talk on IG, Facebook. Want to say Twitter? I'm not too sure about that. Yeah, Twitter. And yeah, just check us out, Stud Table Talk, and we are